Hi, I'm Lara Elfstrand from Placer Birth Connection, and I am here with Ariel. And we were having a great conversation a few weeks back at the talk on tongue tie about nutrition before and around the time of conception, and specifically around folic acid. And so we just wanted to continue that discussion and kind of clarify a few things. So Ariel, tell me a little bit more about so we were talking about folic acid and why it's important. And there's like 3 different names for it.
Yes.
And there's some things that are important about it. So tell me more about that.
I'm laughing because I feel like I'm going to mess up the names, even though I always remind myself, but there are 3
I understand.
or maybe 4. But basically, I mean, in general, we know that folic acid, this B vitamin, is super important in the development of the embryo in our babies, especially in regards to the spine, the midline, all of that. So, gosh, was it probably less than 100 years ago, maybe like 50 to 70 years ago, we started, the food industry started supplementing or enriching bread, grains, pasta, rice with folic acid. And we actually saw a huge decrease in the incidence of spina bifida. So it was a really good thing. But then we started seeing, and we are now seeing, an increase in this mutation called the MTHFR, which is what we were talking about, this MTHFR mutation. So MTHFR is it contains the DNA code to make this MTHFR enzyme, and that enzyme is needed to basically process folate in our body.
Okay.
And put it into the usable form in our body so that we can use it. And then also it helps break down homocysteine, which is a protein, into methionine. So in people that have this mutation, not all of them, I'm going to just say blanket statements, but there's actually 3 different mutations within MTHFR.
Okay.
So not everybody's going to have the same symptoms, but we're finding that they have high levels of homocysteine and low levels of folate, and that can cause problems.
Okay.
So those problems in relation to what we were talking about are recurrent miscarriages as a symptom, spina bifida, and then potentially tongue ties.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what does somebody who's wanting to get pregnant, what would they need to know?
So basically, I mean, my recommendation would be to start, let's say you're considering, I want to conceive in the next 6 months. Normally the recommendation is to start on a prenatal, but if you have this mutation, you're going to be taking a prenatal that probably has folic acid, and folic acid is the one that you want to avoid if you have this mutation. Now, you would never get tested for this mutation just like in a normal preconception appointment. Maybe a midwife would do that, but typically like an OBGYN, they're not going to test you for this unless you actually have high levels of homocysteine, which you're not going to figure that out unless you go down, it's not really something that's typically tested. So my recommendation would be to first get tested to see if you have this mutation. If you do, that's when you would need to seek out a prenatal that has methylfolate, not folic acid. So those are those different names we were talking about.
Yes.
So folic acid is the one that is in most prenatals, but if you have this mutation, it's unusable to you.
Is it bad for you? Like if you have the mutation, is it harmful, or is it just that it's not doing what we need it to do?
I think it's just not doing what it's supposed to do. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't believe it can build up in your body or anything because it's a water soluble vitamin. So you should just pee it out. But I could be wrong on that. But what I do know is that it's just unusable. And so you need this methylated folate, which not every prenatal has. And so you would want to seek out that specific prenatal. And I've even heard people say you should avoid the folate that's been enriched in grains. And so you need to find non-enriched pasta, rice, bread, all of that.
So would you say that women just generally who are hoping to conceive soon should get tested for this mutation?
I think it would be a good idea. Again, it's not really something right now that anybody's, if you go in for a preconception appointment, which a lot of people don't do, but if you do, this isn't one of the things they're going to recommend. But I would say if you have recurrent miscarriages, this is for sure something that you should look into. If you have previous babies with tongue ties or tongue ties in your family at all. Also, this mutation seems to affect mental health a lot. So if you find that you are predisposed or are currently experiencing depression, anxiety, even bipolar disorder is one of the symptoms of this mutation, that's a reason to get tested. But I mean, I do think even without symptoms, overall, it's not going to hurt to get this test. It's like $100 without insurance, and I think it's worth it.
Interesting. Is it, let's say you don't know, is it better to choose the methylated folate as opposed to the regular folic acid?
Yeah, there's no harm in doing that. So if you don't get tested or can't get tested or don't want to, I mean, just bypass that potential problem and take the methylated folate. I don't see why not.
And so is the test just a blood test?
Mm-hmm.
So you'd ask your doctor for
I can't remember what it's actually called, but they should know if you say, I want the MTHFR mutation test. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Different ones. Yeah. So it's gaining a lot of popularity right now because of how tongue ties are kind of getting more attention, and we're trying to figure out why does there seem to be more tongue ties, or maybe we're just more aware of them. But right now there's no published studies for sure linking this mutation to tongue ties. But if you ask anybody in the field, they'll say, I'm seeing a high incidence of people with this mutation and tongue ties. They're having babies with tongue ties. So
even I've seen it recently.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I wanted to ask more questions, is I'm like, oh, I've seen it.
Yeah. And genetics play a huge role in tongue ties. So like for me, my babies both have tongue ties and I don't have this mutation, but I have the genetic piece. I have family members with tongue ties. So that's a huge part too, which you can't really do much about. But if if we're talking about ways to prevent tongue ties, which is kind of a new topic, you don't really know how to prevent it now, but this is one of the ways they're looking at it is, if people start, if we find out before they can see that they have this mutation and then they take all the right supplements, are we going to see less incidences of tongue ties?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I know.
Reduce the fussiness,
it's all budding research. Yeah.
Anything else that comes to mind that in nutrition wise that potential parents wanting to conceive should consider?
Well, like I mentioned, that pre-appointment, people think about that, but I always say, if you can plan out when you're going to conceive, obviously things happen and sometimes a decision is made once the test is positive, but if you're planning it out, I think it's a good idea to go to your midwife or even just your primary care and just kind of say like, hey, I'm considering getting pregnant. Is there anything in, that you're concerned about? How's my blood pressure? I think it'd be cool to get this test before. Look at your thyroid, just kind of rule out any potential problems before you start. And then always, the recommendation is to take a prenatal if you're sexually active and of childbearing age. So really you should take it all the time. But if you're not taking it, at least 3 months before you start trying to conceive. And as we were talking about, maybe consider taking one of these that has the methylated folate. One of the ones I know about is Mama Bird prenatals. I think there's a few others that you should be able to find, maybe Ritual, but those are the ones I know about that have this methylated folate, methylfolate.
That's awesome.